Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of, Thursday Night Madness, not Wednesday night, but it is Thursday night. It's Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside Anthony Florio. We are awaiting, hopefully, the arrival of Michael Bullock. If he comes, then great. If he doesn't, then, we understand and we'll move right on along. So, with that said, we're just going to dive right on in. We're going to start out with NXT. We started out with the tag team turmoil. Starting with New Catch Republic versus Idris Nalfi and Malik Blade. Well, actually, no. Let me see. Let's see. All right. Actually, so we had five different teams that was in it, and basically, if you won, you get a shot at the tag team titles. So when it was all said and done, the winners of the battle, the winner of this match, in roughly 17 minutes altogether, winning tag team turmoil was Chase University. Andre Chase and Duke Hudson won it all. Um, Look, it's hard to predict. It's hard to say how this plays out. I would probably say yes that the outcome was a little bit surprising, knowing that Duke Hudson and Andre Chase wins it, but they've been getting some momentum lately. Chase University's been getting some key wins here, and there's really nothing more to say here. So, all in all, good night, and yeah, about 3 stars all in all. So, Anthony Floyo, it's yours as Chase University wins the tag team gauntlet.
I'll tell you, MF, this was a great match in terms of in-ring quality, though the booking was questionable. The babyface Chase U took advantage of New Catch Republic after they captured 3 straight falls, coming off as fluke winners. This bout could have focused more on actual NXT talent than it did. Instead, the first true NXT team was eliminated first, and Chase U came in for the last-minute win. Nathan Frazier and Axiom will have a great match with Chase and Duke Hudson, though. Idris Anafe reversed the bitter end into a DDT and then went for a dive, but took a forearm to the face from Pete Dunne, setting up the first pinfall. The OC arrived with confidence, immediately hitting the Magic Killer, but choosing to taunt rather than take the quick win. OTM mocked Gallows and Anderson after they got eliminated. Tyler Bate planted Duke Hudson with an impressive vertical suplex, bringing out Big Strong Boy chants from the audience. Ridge Holland took a dive from Tyler Bate outside the ring, saving Andre Chase to set up the finish. And Ridge Holland refused to take blame for New Catch Republic's loss backstage. And Hank Walker and Tank Ledger officially challenged Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne for a match next week. And then backstage, Gallows and Anderson laid out OTM with steel chairs, and then Michin and Jada Parker brawled until officials broke it up. They're going to have a street fight next week. Oh boy, that's all I can say. There's a one-man fight right there. So 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star is my rating for this. It started slow, but then it picked up as it progressed, and questionable outcome. I would have loved to have seen could you have imagined New Catch Republic against Frazier and Axiom? Oh, it would have ranked up there as one of the great NXT tag team title matches in history. Right up there with the Revival and DIY, right up there with the Revival and American Alpha, the whole 9 yards. But this one should be all right. So we'll have to wait and see how it goes. Could go either way. So 3.5, 3 3/4. So MF, set me up for the next match if you would.
All right, indeed. And our next matchup that we did have after this, um, it was. Oh, wow, there's a lot of promo segments. All right, Wesley versus Joe Gacy, Joe Coffey, I should say. It was Wesley winning the match in 3 minutes and 18 seconds. So, Anthony, quick thought.
This was shockingly short. Wesley completely squashed Joe Coffey. This result did make sense if Wesley is going to be seen as a true challenge for the dominant North American champion. However, it does seriously hamper the forward momentum of Gallus. The Scottish trio returned with a splash, but have fallen back into a familiar rhythm as the Fall Guys for more popular talent. It would have been a net positive to make this a little more competitive, especially since Wesley's chances of dethroning Obafemi are low. Mark Coffey tried to get involved but took a knee from Lee. distraction allowed Joe to plant him with a power slam. 1 to 1.5 stars. That's the best rating I could give it. So, MF, let's get a quick thought from you on this match.
Yeah, 1.5. I thought they did a solid. It was pretty solid, pretty good for what it was worth, but nothing more to say. So we go right on, and it was the Heritage Cup. As it was Nathan Frazier going up against Tony D'Angelo, winner of the bout in the 6th and final round in 1 minute and 9 seconds, 2 falls to 1, and still the holder of the Heritage Cup. The Don of NXT, Tony D'Angelo, solid match. You could even say maybe the best out of the entire, format. This was a really good matchup. 3.5 stars for me. Absolute great battle between these two men, and Tony D'Angelo won it and deserved to win it. So well done to him. Nothing more to say. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
This was heavily driven by the work of the challenger. The Don sold the impact of Frazier's offense well, helping him shine without losing the story of the battle. It was odd, though, that D'Angelo never went for his usual finisher, instead relying heavily on the spine buster. The Don needed the win. He continues to grow as a competitor in these Heritage Cup matches and deserves the spotlight. Nathan Frazier still has the NXT Tag Team Championships, though. The quick falls in the first 2 rounds more or less invalidated the format, as the majority of action only happened for the 3rd fall. Both men are too well established to lose so quickly. So, in the locker room, Axiom promised to be in Frazier's corner for his match, despite his misgivings about his friend spreading himself too thin. The Don caught Frazier diving outside, called him stupid, and then threw him into the steel steps. Frazier barely kicked out of a 2nd spine buster in round 4. A 3rd spine buster catching Frazier, diving in the next round again, got a near fall. Challenger nearly took it with a diving dropkick to the Don's injured right shoulder. Time ran out after Frazier hit the Phoenix Splash in the 5th round. Saved by the bell. So I could call this fight of the night if I wanted to. Solid 4 stars. Very good Heritage Cup match. One of the better ones we've had in a long time. So there isn't anything else left to say, MF, except speaking of champions, we go from the Heritage Cup champion to the NXT Women's Champion in non-title action against a young lady who has caught my eye over the last several weeks and months. Okay. I guess.
Sorry, I forgot to unmute my mic. Carmen Petrovic going one-on-one with Roxanne Perez. Roxanne Perez won the match in 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Yes.
With Pop Rocks, but then Lola hit spinning back. Roxanne hit Lola with the back fist, but then returned the favor and hit a back fist of her own, knocking out Roxanne Perez, and then Lola took the belt. All right, Anthony Florio. Oh boy. If anything, it just got real.
Damn
Lola
real.
Rice took the NXT Women's title.
Possession's 9/10 of the law, folks. So let's remember that.
And not only that, but Lola has been parading around with that belt. If you've been watching some of the photos on social media.
Hello there.
Yeah.
Or should I say, hey now? So, this looked like an opportunity to keep up Carmen Petrovic's momentum. Instead, she was completely outmatched by the champion. The NXT Women's Champion does not need to step into the ring for a non-title squash match, yet that is what this became. The action was harmless, but missed an opportunity to keep Petrovic's momentum. Lola Vice got her expected revenge on the Prodigy from last week and then walked out with the belt she had not earned. NXT still has not done enough to establish Lola Vice as the fan favorite in this feud. In the locker room, Petrovic watched footage from last week. The Prodigy did not appreciate it. An argument between the two set up this match. After joining commentary, Lola Vice said, "Nothing Roxanne Perez can do would ever hurt me." Unnecessary attempt to diminish the champion. And then Lola Vice gave the NXT Women's Championship to Ava. while demanding her title shot at Heatwave, which Ava granted. So Heatwave, Roxanne Perez, Lola Vice, for the NXT Women's Championship. Should be something else. And there really isn't anything else left for me to say here. So this was about 1.5, teetering on 2. So MF, no doubt about the outcome, but yeah, Roxanne Perez, Lola Vice, Toronto, here we come, Heatwave.
Yeah, I'll give it 1.5. I think they did pretty good with it. Nothing more to add there. So we'll just move right on along. Then we had Damon Camp going 1-on-1 with Tavion Heights, and it was Tavion Heights winning the match in 2 minutes and 58 seconds. Solid match. I'd probably say about another 1.5. Really nothing more to grab there. And like we said, it's Damon Camp trying to make good, trying to be a part of the no catch crew, and Tavion Heights with a nice victory for himself. So
great win.
Yeah. So Anthony, it's yours.
Yes. High stakes in this one, MF. With this win, Tavion Heights is now the newest member of the No Quarter Catch crew. And Tavion Heights being in No Quarter Catch crew, in my honest opinion, MF, is a win for that stable. He has the talent to shine and just needed a spotlight. The main concern that I have is that he is flashier than his new stablemates, and he could outshine them rather quickly. Damon Kemp especially has had trouble finding his way in this group and looked weak in this match. This was another squash match on a night overloaded with one-sided performances. Damon Kemp repeatedly questioned Charlie Dempsey and Miles Bourne outside for wanting Tavion Heights in the No Quarter Catch crew. So this was about 1 to 1.5 for the effort here. So Tavion Heights and No Quarter Catch crew, I like it. So I don't have an issue with it whatsoever. So with that said, MF, a night of squash matches set me up for the next one. I know we got another one. Let's go.
Yeah, unfortunately we did. Sol Ruka going 1-on-1 with Ariana Grace.
High stakes.
It was another high stakes, but Sol Ruka wins the match. She is now #1 contender for the Women's North American Championship. She goes to Heatwave. She's going up against Kalani Jordan. Anthony Florio, it is all yours.
Do you have a time of the fall?
4:15.
2 stars. Actually, no. This is another 1 to 1.5. I have some constructive criticism about this match. MF, this is one of those times where I got to do something you don't like, and that is I got to be the man who tells it like it is. And when I say that, trouble's coming, but not in an overly bad way. It's just I'm not going to go full on Jesse about this, but I am going to unleash a little bit of what. At Sol Ruka's level of experience, matches like this were always possible, but she had remained relatively clean in the ring to this point. This was bad and entirely on the #1 contender. Ruka was slipping all over, trying to hit her spots. While she has all the talent in the world, she looked out of her depth here while Ariana Grace did not get enough offense to turn it around. Hopefully she got this out of her system so that Kalani Jordan and Sol Ruka can have a show stealer at Heatwave for that Women's North American Championship. After Kalani Jordan wished both women good luck in the upcoming #1 contender match, Jada Parker interrupted to challenge Michin to a street fight next week. Sol Ruka slipped multiple times in this match, but the clearest was the finish where she struggled to set up the Soul Snatcher. There were a lot of botches in this one.
Yeah, there was.
I know I'm going to come off as a bit harsh in this, but I don't give a damn. I'm sorry, MF. I hate to do this, but I have to do it. This was an absolute dud. This was the worst fight of the night. Happy for Sol Ruka, though. Golden opportunity coming up. I believe her and Jordan have what is it? I think they have potential for a sleeper fight of the night here. So Sol Ruka, heed my advice. Stop botching, or else you're going to be on that, or else botchamania is going to continue to haunt you.
Oh, yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if she, I'm sure they still do those things, and I wouldn't be surprised if she was on the latest one. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Oh yeah, they got some good content. They got a few people that they've been targeting lately.
Dipsy do botcheroo, baby.
But yeah, nah, about a half star because of the botches. I'm not gonna punish them too hard, but it is what it is. So then we go to the main event: Trick Williams versus Shawn Spears. Shawn Spears takes down the NXT champion in 8 minutes and 19 seconds. And yes, you know what? Look, you can say whatever you want to say, but Brooks Jensen or he's been going under Ben Buchanan. He showed up once again. Security came out, but he grabbed that little thing at the ringside, the table topper, and tried to fling it, and he hit Trick Williams. It led to Shawn Spears putting him away for the 1, 2, 3, and then all of a sudden people start freaking out in the back. They're like, "Oh my God! Okay, wait a minute, hold time." So you got All Ego Ethan Page, you got him. You got Tavon Evans, who deserves the shot at the title. He's the number one contender. But you also got All Ego Ethan Page. He beat him a week ago. Now you have Shawn Spears winning here over the champion. What do we do? And it was like, okay, you know what? We'll do this. Fatal 4-way for the NXT title. Shawn Spears, All Ego Ethan Page, the young phenom Tavion Evans, and the reigning champion Trick Williams. Oh my goodness. What are we going to get after this? But, I got to say it. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out. But Anthony Florio, fight of the night by default, 3 stars, stunning upset. Shawn Spears wins it.
Tag Team Turmoil was my fight of the night. Well, actually, no, the Heritage Cup match was my fight of the night, not this. Third best, though. 2.5, 2 3/4 of a star. The main event was complete chaos to the point of overbooking, while Javon Evans stayed in the back. Ethan Page worked commentary until Oro Mensah struck. Even Jensen's controversial story got involved in the main event, which was a step too far. There was no reason for more bodies in the mix when Mensah and Page could have been distraction enough. Trick and Spears were fine together. It was hardly spectacular, but the goal was always the destination rather than the journey. The chairman is finally a made man in NXT, and hopefully that means more than taking the pin in the Fatal 4-Way at Heatwave. Ethan Page joined commentary for the main event. Booker T and Ethan Page bullied Vic Joseph on commentary. Oro Mensah attacked Ethan Page, found his fire after a couple chops from Spears, untying his hair and running over the chairman with strikes. 2.5 to 2 3/4 of a star. And, well, as far as the overall review goes, well, yeah. Middle of the road kind of show. We did get 3 good matches out of this. I mean, we had the Tag Team Turmoil match. We had the Heritage Cup, Tag Team Turmoil, and the main event. That was pretty much it. Yeah, this was not a good show at all. I know I'm going to come up as very harsh on this, and on a night where we had, this felt like a vintage NXT 2.0 show when we were complaining about those shows back in the day. And yeah, this was not good at all. 3 to 3.5 out of 10. This was not a good show at all. NXT built serious hype and goodwill in the ramp up to Heatwave. The follow-up heading toward that does not feel. NXT. Let me say it like this once again. NXT built serious hype and goodwill in the ramp up to the Battleground event. The follow-up heading toward Heatwave does not feel the same. The booking is falling back into the usual NXT rapid-fire action where nothing has time to breathe. Even with Tag Team Turmoil and a phenomenal Heritage Cup match, the show lost steam quick. The main event scene is overstuffed and taking too much time on middle-of-the-road matches and segments. The sense of shock and awe is wearing off after a few TNA talent appearances as the product refocuses back exclusively on its own roster. Nothing compelling has momentum in the Heatwave. a show that feels more like a special event, NXT, than a true premium live event so far. Hopefully, next week's Go Home show will add a spark that makes the PLE feel important enough to watch. 3 to 3.5 out of 10. I'm done. MF, go.
Yeah, you said it. This was it was a rough show. It's a rough show. There's really nothing more to say. I'm gonna go 4. I'm just gonna be generous. I'll give it a 4, and we'll just move right on along. So next up, we did have was AEW, and here's how that went down. AEW Dynamite being held. Let's see if I can find it. Yep, from the KeyBank Center in Buffalo, New York. We started out with the first thing of the night. Let's see. First match we had on the fight card after a pretty elongated, almost segment. All right. So what we had was John Moxley, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta combo Blackpool Combat Club. They went up against Shingo Takahashi, Kuburo Takahashi, and Titan representing Los Ingobernables de Japón. Then it was Los Ingobernables de Japón winning the match in 10 minutes and 50 seconds via disqualification. Basically, John Moxley using the chair on Takahashi, and that prompted Tetsuya Naito to show up, the leader of Los Ingobernables de Japón, and it was on at that point. Basically, they had a stare down. It was fight time between these two. Oh, by the way, IWGP World Heavyweight title on the line at Forbidden Door. John Moxley putting the title on the line against Tetsuya Naito. That's going to be a banger, man. That's all I'm just going to say. So, Anthony Florio, you can say about 3 stars, even though the DQ finish was a little bit of a lackluster. But let me say, after the bout was over, when Naito showed up, the junk hit the fan.
Yes, it did. And MF, I mean, nobody knows Los Ingobernables de Japón better than you do. I mean, hell, you could do a show by yourself talking about, that stable because you know so much about it. And man, it was a treat for me to see these guys. I mean, I've heard all of your stories about these guys, and whenever you've talked about New Japan shows on our shows in years past, and when I saw this match being put together, I'm like, I got to share this with MF and the boys, and I know MF was probably marking out when he saw this because I know how much MF loves these guys. But anyways, 3 to 3.25 stars for me. This match had a lot of great individual moments, but the way it ended took the wind out of its sails. Some of the post-match stuff helped sell matches for Forbidden Door, but Bryan Danielson and Takagi's stare down was anticlimactic because it seemed out of character for the American Dragon to just stand there after someone was attacking his partner, Wheeler Yuta. Excalibur gave a nice little rundown of LIJ's history and how they are tied to Roosh. Claudio catching a grown man in midair is always going to be impressive. And the way John Moxley sold Takahashi's kick to the face was great. Like I said, 3 to 3.25 stars. And it was definitely an experience for me to see Los Ingobernables de Japón in a match. Pretty cool for me. So, old hat for MF because not the first rodeo. MF knows these guys like the back of his hands. So, man, that was something. And Moxley and Naito, the way you hyped that thing, the way you, I could have sworn you brought out you brought out the hype man persona for this. And if you do that, you said a banger. Well, I'll do you one better. Be a man fight. That's very likely what that's going to be. That's going to be a man fight, no doubt about that. So I can't wait to see it. So it's going to be something else. So 3 to 3.25 stars. surprising outcome. I kind of thought BCC was going to get the win here because of how over they are, but surprised they gave it to LIJ. But it was by disqualification. It was not decisive or anything. So, but a win's a win nonetheless. So with that being said, MF, we move on now to the next match in the men's Owen Hart tournament.
Yes, indeed. It was Jay White going one-on-one with Ray Phoenix. Jay White advances to the semifinals, winning it in 9 minutes and 20 seconds. Anthony Florio. That means the winner of the Jeff Jarrett versus the wild card match, which, oh, by the way, will be held next week, will get to face off with Jay White down the line.
And the wild card, unfortunately, is going to be handpicked by the Elite. So, by the Young Bucks, by Matthew and Nicholas Jackson. Okay. We'll see what happens with that. 3-star match. Jay White is a versatile performer, and Ray Phoenix is among AEW's best high flyers. So nobody should be surprised that they put on a fun show for the Buffalo crowd. Switchblade scored a clean win with the Blade Runner to advance to the next round of the tournament. He will face the winner of Jeff Jarrett and the wildcard entrant. Christian Cage and the Patriarchy came to the ring and had a brief stare down with the Bang Bang Gang, but it ended without violence. Ray Phoenix's diving arm drag from the top rope is cool, but Jay White telegraphed it a lot by putting his arm up for Phoenix to grab. It looks slightly too cooperative, but it is only noticeable if you're looking at the guy on the mat instead of the guy jumping off the top rope. One of Ray Phoenix's super kicks looked like it connected more than intended, but Jay White sold it perfectly. Solid 3 stars for this. So, not much more to say. MF, Jay White moves on, and he will face either Jeff Jarrett or that wild card entrant hand selected by the Elite next week. So, all yours when MF, are you there? Oh,
yeah, I'm here. Okay. Sorry.
Yep. 3-star match.
All right. Yeah. All right. So we got really nothing more to say on that. So next up we did have was, let me see if we got it. Let's see where it is. All right. Here we go. Now this one's going to be an interesting one, as it was Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Sakuramura. They went up against Saraya, Anna Jay, and Harley Cameron. When it was all said and done, winners of the bout in 7 minutes even was Toni Storm, Mariah May, and Mina Marina Sakura. Sorry. But at the end, so Toni Storm and Sakura started going at it. Mariah handed the glass, the glass of champagne, and they were going to toast the celebration. Storm and May were going to do something. Then Sakura was going to attack Toni Storm, but she broke the bottle over Mariah May's head. Oh no! Oh my heavens! Mariah May was laid out. And, this just got interesting. All right. Solid match. About another 2.5, close to 3. Good match, good fight. I enjoyed it. I feel bad for the ending. I thought the ending was a little weak, or the post-fight was a little weak. But at the end of the day, they made the right decision. God, I don't know where to go with that. So, nothing more to say. Anthony Florio. This just got interesting, to say the very least. It's yours.
Absolutely did. And let me correct you, MF. Her name is Mina Shirakawa. That's her name.
Shirakawa. All right.
Mina Shirakawa. So, just to let you know, 2.5 stars. A little disorganized, but had some enjoyable moments. I'm just going to leave it at that. Shirakawa tried to hit Toni Storm with the champagne bottle, but she hit Mariah May by mistake. Toni Storm remained by May's side as officials made Mina leave the ring. May went back into the tunnel after Storm's entrance so she could come out with Shirakawa. And Storm did a fantastic job portraying jealousy with body language and facial expressions. 2.5 stars. That's the rating I can give this. And but it has certainly made that match even more interesting and even more personal than it already was. And yeah, it definitely will now it's going to definitely ask a lot of questions as to how this is going to play out. And Mariah May is definitely going to be the wild card in this matchup. There is no question about that. And whenever we preview this show, I will most certainly reiterate that point. So solid 2.5 stars for this. And MF, like I said, come Sunday night when Storm and Shirakawa battle for that women's title, Mariah May is going to be the wild card, no doubt about it.
I will say this just for you fine folks to know. We'll have that on Saturday. We'll be previewing that event because that's when the Cerebral Smack Talk will happen on Saturday night. It will not be on Friday this week. It'll be on Saturday. Then after that, a few more promo segments and whatnot. Then we have Kyle O'Reilly versus Zack Sabre Jr. Zack Sabre Jr. wins the match in 10 minutes and 55 seconds. Anthony Florio, it is yours.
Fight of the night for me, no doubt about this. 3.25 to 3.5 stars. No, 3.5 stars for me. These are two men who are world-renowned for their technical ability, but they have unique styles that make them feel totally different. Zack Sabre Jr. is a fluid mat technician, while Kyle O'Reilly favors a BJJ influence with a lot of strikes. But the thing they share is a love of submissions. This was a beautiful display of pure technical ability, and hopefully not the last time we see these two work together. Sabre scored the win, and Orange Cassidy came down to check on O'Reilly. Sabre and TMDK got in Orange Cassidy's face until Tomohiro Ishii came out and stood next to Orange Cassidy. If Kyle O'Reilly and Zack Sabre, the way Zack Sabre Jr. uses his feet to twist someone's neck always looks brutal. So I could honestly call this the fight of the night. 3.5 stars for me, no question about that. Excellent match, and so not much more to say. MF, your thoughts? I mean, you know these guys very well as well, so especially Zack Sabre Jr. No surprise he got the win here.
Yeah, no, this was really good. Zack Sabre Jr. big name in the world of professional wrestling. Of course, another New Japan guy, Tomohiro Ishii, the Pitbull of Chaos. That's as good as you're gonna get on that one. So yeah, no, they did pretty well. They did pretty well. So nothing more to say on that one. Now we go into the main event. Sean Strickland and Will Ospreay versus the Gates of Agony. And it was Strickland and Ospreay winning the match in 10-10. Good main event. Another 3-star bout. Really nothing more to add there. So, yeah, solid main event. Anthony Florio, it's all yours.
The classic case of can they coexist? Can they coexist? What's that?
I said they did. For the moment, they did.
Yep, the quote-unquote can they coexist trope was on full display in last night's main event when Forbidden Door opponents Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland teamed up to take on Koan and Toa Leona of the Gates of Agony. 3.25 stars. This match had great energy and gave Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland a chance to show off before they meet Sunday night. Ospreay accidentally super kicked Swerve off the apron, but that didn't stop them from working together to win. Ospreay took the world title out of Strickland's hands, and the champ kicked his knee out before knocking him out with a kick to the face. The show ended with the champ standing tall. And that's really all I can say on that. I don't really have anything else. So solid 3.25 for this. Overall review, definitely better than NXT. There's no doubt about that. I would give this somewhere around 7.5, teetering on 8. Last night's Dynamite spent a lot of time selling the Forbidden Door pay-per-view, but it also included a few solid matches and non-wrestling segments. The main event was a great way to push Will Ospreay and Swerve Strickland's feud, but nothing on the show could compete with Zack Sabre Jr. and Kyle O'Reilly in terms of quality. Tony Storm and Mina Shirakawa's storyline went from friendly rivalry to a full-blown feud. A couple more matches were added to the pay-per-view card. The Owen Hart tournament continued with Jay White advancing to the next round with a victory over Rey Fenix. Forbidden Door has some potential bangers on the card, so hopefully AEW, CMLL, Stardom, and New Japan stick the landing. Solid 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Nothing left for me to say except take us home, MF.
I'll say about 7 out of 10. I think they did all right. I think it could have been better in certain areas, but I'm not gonna be too mad about it. I thought they did solid work, to say the very least. So there's really nothing more to add. So we're done. We're out of here. So okay, programming note, guys. I just want to say there will be no show on Friday. Saturday will be Cerebral Smack Talk. We're back at our usual time where we do it during the football season. We're gonna do a special now this time around. 10 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday night, SmackDown Live. We're going to have AEW Collision, and then we will have our preview for Forbidden Door. Monday, Ridiculously Raw, hosted by Anthony Florio. That back to its usual start time, 11 p.m. as Monday Night Raw goes off the air. Raw and the Tony's Take will be back in full force. Wednesday Night Madness. We will have, of course, we'll have the results from Forbidden Door. We will have NXT and AEW Dynamite per the usual. Next Thursday, the traditional NBA Draft Special. That's right. We will give you all the letter grades, everything that went down on the NBA Draft. We will do that on Thursday. Now, I am debating if we should do an NBA draft, an NHL draft special for the next night on Friday. But I may hold off on that because normally we never do NHL drafts. That's a little more harder.
Yeah, we usually don't. We usually don't do NHL.
We usually don't.
And next Thursday night is the 4th of July, MF.
All right, so we'll bump it to the 5th. So we'll go to that Friday. So we'll do it Friday the 5th. All right. So other than that, that's it. But
we could always do the NBA draft show tomorrow night unless you have commitments or anything.
No, that won't work.
Okay.
That will not work. Yeah.
Yep,
so
we'll also have to figure out how to do a Money in the Bank preview in there. We'll have to figure that out.
Well, we could probably push that to next week as well.
Yeah.
So we'll figure that out. Like I said.
Yeah,
so we'll figure it out. We actually might do the Money in the Bank preview next Wednesday night. So we might do it that way. So we'll see. So other than that, we'll figure that out. But until then, we're done for tonight. We'll see you guys on Saturday. So for Anthony Florio, I'm Michael Fletcher. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll see you all on Saturday.
Goodbye.